What's going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han here. Happy Friday and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my last video a couple days ago. I ran a tournament of Clone Wars characters and it was probably my favorite tournament I've ran yet. Super fun. Link above my head right now. Go ahead, check it out if you haven't already, or if you just want to watch the replay. You know, sometimes replays are great. So I am bringing you another anti-meta team. Now, I hesitate branding this as anti-meta because it does utilize so many meta characters. But that said, it's such a different team that is going to work against the Traya teams that I think we can get away with calling anti-meta. And this is from actually one of my patrons, Gamer Rigo. This is his invention. So all credit goes to Gamer Rigo for this. And when he first showed me the footage, I was just pumped because it was unlike anything I've ever seen. He's utilizing Asajj lead with Grandmaster Yoda. So we got Night Sisters, we got Jedi, General Kenobi, Asajj, Talzin, and Grand Admiral Thrawn. And so far, he's been able to manage to beat basically every team on his shard with this team. How about that? That is very cool. And he's doing it. Now, first of all, please note, he is in a year-old shard. And so the mods here you're going to see, both on his team and on the opponent's teams, are slightly under par to what you would see in the late game. But I believe it would scale up as, you know, he gets better mods, they get better mods. The same portion should hold, so everyone's kind of disadvantaged equally here. But if you look at his mods, he's actually basically inferior in every way to most of these teams. He's got Asajj only has 195 speed, his Talzin is 227. Grandmaster Yoda is where he's got most of his speed, which is where he absolutely needs that speed at 268. And then General Kenobi at 201, and he's running General Kenobi only gear 10, 5 stars. And then his Thrawn is at 256. And so that'll be important. He'll benefit quite a bit more from this team once he gets his Grandmaster Yoda up more towards 280, 290 even. Is kind of, because you really want to beat Nest if you're going to go against Nest and some other characters. So, general attack strategy to make this team work. First of all, he's going to use Asajj's AoE to remove turn meter. He wants to fracture Scion right away if possible. Foresight and tenacity up with Grandmaster Yoda will then become very important. And then he wants to use Talzin's AoE for Plague and more turn meter reduction. And of course, just getting Plague out there is going to be very, very effective. He also hopes that he can get a mass assist in there with General Kenobi. Whoever the weak link is who he's going to go for, so that he can hopefully get them out of there, or at least close to. Ideally, you can get that before General Kenobi ends up getting himself isolated. So that will also be very important. Now, some things to note about this team. First of all, the biggest disclaimer I need to throw up there with any anti-meta team is this team is not meta. This is not Traya lead. This is not Bastila lead. So running this team will likely earn you a few extra targets as you are sitting there on defense. More people will think, oh, that looks like a team that's easy. I'm going to go fight it. So you could end up falling harder. So I don't think I'm going to give this a stamp of approval on defense. However, it is a team that can climb very well. And so if you are struggling on your climb, maybe to get past some of these Traya lead teams, because it does work against Traya lead, maybe it will be, if you're close to it, maybe it'll be something you want to use. Keep in mind, Asajj Ventress here is the main damage dealer of this team. So he does want to call her with Master's Training, with Mother Talzin's Mass Assist. So sometimes people will want to spam Mother Talzin's basic when she's not ran in a full Night Sister faction, but because Asajj will get called with that special, he is calling Asajj with it. It basically works as an assist call for Asajj, and because her offense is important, that is going to be helpful for you. Now, these battles, as you'll see here, they're not perfect. It's not like the same thing happens every time. It's not a cakewalk against Traya lead. Nothing is a cakewalk against Traya lead. Even if you're running Traya against Traya lead, sometimes it's not a cakewalk. So there is going to be a degree of improvising in here. The attack strategy I cited is the ideal. Some things may go wrong. Do your best to come back to that if at all possible. A good rule of thumb that he goes by, and this is actually something that I go by with when I'm running Darth Nihilus with my team against Traya lead. Any Sith team that you are fighting with Traya leadership, if they are incorporating a non-Sith, attack them first. They'll be easier to take out, and that will be very, very helpful for you to get it to a 5-on-4 match as soon as possible. Usually that will be Grand Admiral Thrawn, so attack him first. That is going to help, especially with this team. It's also a bonus. Gamer Rigo was telling me it's a big bonus for him when he can get Scion out of there before he gets held by Hatred up. Now, again, that could be idealistic depending on how, what the speeds are like on your team versus their team. But if possible, get Scion out of there before he gets held by Hatred up there. It is also a bonus if Traya ends up wide open to get her out early in the battle. Now, this probably pretty much sounds redundant. It's like, well, yeah, obviously I want to get Scion and Traya out of there. They're just going to be some of the bigger threats. And so what he's basically getting at here with that comment is gauge who is going to be the quickest to take out. You benefit pretty much evenly by getting one or the other out. You don't necessarily need to get both of them out at the same time. That probably won't be possible, but just kind of based on how the battle's going, how much you've been forced to attack Scion versus how much you were able to attack Traya, it's probably ideally get Traya out first. But if you're not able to do that, you got a lot of pain on there, you don't have that benefit of the tenacity up from Basta lead with this team, you may need to just gun down Scion first and then work on Traya. So essentially, this team is very, very dependent on the early battle going very well, and that is why the speed stats are going to be very important. So I am showing the speed stats for both sides of this for that reason, because I do feel like this team is going to be very dependent on having the speed in a place where you can get the turns you need early in the battle. So that is definitely something to keep in mind as you look to running this team. Gamer Rigo does cite that the RNG is going to be very important to this as well. It is a bit RNG dependent, and that I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest. I mean, if I'm sitting where you guys are, this team might be fun to run. I might prefer running a team like Jedi where I have more confidence that I can get the win, or just run Traya if I have her. I mean, a lot of you are probably laughing at that comment because you're not going to have her for a while, and that's fine too. But I don't like RNG dependent battles. It's not super RNG dependent. He was able to get, enough wins to send me all of this footage here, quite a bit of footage of him beating everybody up in his shard. That could also, part of the reason why it could be RNG dependent to him, though, is his mods do feel slightly inferior to his shard mates, other than Grandmaster Yoda. And his General Kenobi is gear 10, and he's only got 5 stars on that General Kenobi, and so that could be contributing as well. The only team in his shard right now that he cannot beat is the team that is using Nest. Now, I am actually optimistic that this team, based on what I'm seeing, would be able to beat the Nest teams if he could only beat Nest out the gate with Grandmaster Yoda. If he could get enough speed on Yoda to beat the Nests in his shard, then he would be able to spread the foresight and the tenacity to get those resists on Nest AoE, which would prevent Nest being so devastating at the beginning of the battle, because that's where this gets derailed, is Nest uses her AoE, and it's just kind of lights out from there because it screws up the whole beginning of the battle for him. So if you are able to get your Grandmaster Yoda faster than those Nests in your shard, then I am optimistic this will work. If you're not, it probably will not. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed looking at Gamer Rigo's team. I think this is really fun. Again, it's probably not going to be the most smart team to go for, especially for late game players, but I love seeing new things working. I think this is a really innovative, creative team that I was really excited to show you because of how different it is, and just the fact that it is working. Might be a better team for you mid-game players out there, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't say mid-game. 6 months to a year of playing. I'm sorry if I offended anybody by calling that mid-game. For you players who've been playing for about 6 months to a year, maybe this team would be a good team for you to run. Maybe late game, I'm a little bit more hesitant, but it seems to be working well for him. And hey, he wasn't able to beat Traya teams very well before at all, and now he is able to do so by running this team. So good on Gamer Rigo. All right, my friends, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and do so. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. Sorry about the mess.